So in previous class, we discussed about the interfaces and we have discussed about the couple of concepts. As I told, we will discuss many more concepts in this class regarding interface. So I will start with that. So now my question is, right? So there is an interface. Can we implement an interface inside the interface? So that is what my question. Let me see what we can do. So there is an interface that is a demo interface. Okay. In this demo interface, I don't have any implemented methods. So only one method is there, that is abstracted method. And I have another interface that is second interface. I am trying to implement the first interface. Okay. So if you see what is happening is, it is telling there is an interface, second interface is the name, and it is trying to implement another interface. Okay, so what kind of scenarios that we have texted? In a class we have extended class. In a class we have extended class, and in a class we have implemented the class. So in this scenario, in an interface, we are trying to implement interface. So what is telling? It is not possible. Okay, so in interface, you cannot implement the interface. Let me try to extend and see what will happen. Okay, here if you see an interface, you can extend the interface. One interface can extend the interface. Interface can extend the interface. So what is multiple inheritance? Interface can extend the multiple interfaces is nothing but multiple inheritance. We will see whether that is possible or not. So let me write new interface. That is ASD and finish it and try to add that here, comma ASD, and let's see what is happening. So here, if you see, one interface can extend the another interface, and one interface can extend the multiple inheritance. So like multiple interfaces, this is called multiple inheritance. So one interface can extend the interface, and one interface can extend the multiple interfaces. Right. So now I will try to show you one scenario. What is the scenario is basically, I have a class which is trying to implement the one interface. So let me, this is the first one, and this is the second one, this is the third one. These are the three interfaces that we have. First demo interface, and second interface, and ASD interface. So in second interface, we have extends the multiple interfaces. So suppose you consider you have one implemented method here. So unimplemented method here, you have one more unimplemented method here. Right? So now I wanted to highlight one important point is, as we discussed earlier, if a class implements an interface, if a class implements the interface, what we did is, whatever abstract methods present in the interface, whatever abstract methods present in the interface, everything we have to implement. Okay, if a class implements the interface, everything we have to implement. Now you can see I have the abstract methods in these two interfaces, and this interfaces extends that interfaces, so demo1 and ASD. Now I am not implementing anything, but it is not giving the error. So I will tell you why. Okay, very important point. So if an interface extends the multiple interfaces, you no need to implement, and you cannot implement also because it is an interface end of the day, right? So I will tell you why. Okay, basically demo interface and ASD are the interfaces, right? Those are the interfaces. What kind of methods we will have? Only abstract methods, right? Now I will come back to the second interface. What is this? This is an interface again. Okay, so suppose you consider this having two abstract methods, and I'm trying to implement it because that is implementing it. So let me write here, let me implement. So why I'm writing, let me try to explain in detail. So I'm trying to write like this. So the problem here is, even it extends the interfaces, you cannot write the implementation, because again this word is restricting in this class, interface word is restricting in this interface. Boss, again second interface is also interface, you cannot implement the methods here because I am not allowing the non-abstract methods, means which is having the implementation. I am only allowing the abstract methods, that's why you cannot implement it. That's what the second interface is telling. Hope you understood now. Since I am an interface again, since I am an interface, I cannot implement. Okay, now one more question. Boss, if you are not able to implement us, then why you are extending? What is the use of extending us? So that is what the question from the ASD and the demo interface. So now we will try to understand what it is telling by second interface. So second interface, what it is telling, boss, I cannot implement, but what I can do is, if someone implements me, that means any class if implements this interface, I will ask them to implement your abstract method also. That is what this can do, right? So what it is telling, boss, there is a class which is try to implements me, that time they will implement you also, because I am extending you. The reason because I am extending, they will implement you. Okay, so now if you write implements of the second interface, so now okay, so what it is happening, this second interface does not have any of the methods, abstract methods. We don't have any abstract methods, but when you implement this, it is erroring out. Why it is erroring out, and what it is telling, boss, you have to add unimplemented method, but we don't have any unimplemented methods, right? Then why it is showing like this? Because this is extending another two interfaces. Even if this interface don't having any abstract methods, we have to implement abstract methods which is present in the demo interface and AST. Let me implement it, then you can see this will gone, error will gone. All right, you can see it here. So what happened here? Here, this is the method from first one, and this is the method from second one, right? So what this second interface is doing, when the second interface extends any interfaces, and you are trying to implement this interface in another class, by default, you have to implement all the abstract methods present in these two interfaces, which is extended by this interface, right? So this is how the things will work. Clear with this scenario?